Welcome, guys. We're going to go ahead and jump into these review problems. So here we go. Okay. Nice and zoomed in. Number one, if A is the midpoint of CM, woohoo, key word. Okay, so this is one of our key or target words, midpoint, which basically means as soon as you see that midpoint, draw a picture. And so CM is the main piece, and then A is the midpoint. Okay, as soon as you hear midpoint, instantly put little congruency marks. You're probably going to set something equal to each other here. It says find the length of AM is our final goal. It says CA is 2x minus 3, and CM is actually this total distance here is 5x minus 11. Okay, so I can't set these two equal to each other because CA is definitely not as big as CM, but since I have the congruency mark here, I know that this is also 2x minus 3. So we can use segment addition postulate, which two segments add up to a bigger segment. So we're going to get 2x minus 3 plus 2x minus 3 equals 5x minus 11. And we go ahead and solve that. It's going to be 4x minus 6 equals 5x minus 11. We're going to subtract the 4x over here, add the 11 over here, and this is going to become x, and then add the 11 to the 6. That's going to become x equals 5. This says find the length of AM. So helpful to get x equals 5, but then we just got to plug it back into AM. So you get 2 times 5 minus 3, so that's going to be a value of 7 for AM. Number 2, where does the line intersect the plane? Naming the intersection of the line and the plane. Okay, well the line and the plane, so lines and planes meet at exactly one point, so the intersection is at point H. What two points are coplanar? That would be M and H are on the same plane. And name 2 points that are collinear. Well, H and D would be on the same line. R would also be, it doesn't show, but this would kind of technically be going all the way through. All right, find the distance between the 2 points. Step 1, label your points. Be very careful about this on the test. And then I'm going to write the formula out right here. This is going to have to be known for the test, so make sure you prepare and study it, memorize it. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and plug everything we know. x2 is negative 8 minus x1, which is a negative 2, plus y2, which is a negative 3, minus 4. Squared. Notice on the first one I had to put the subtraction sign in from the equation, and then the 2 is also negative. So I'm very careful by putting in all my negatives, taking my time. Negative and negative does make a positive, so that's going to be negative 8 plus 2, which is a negative 6 squared. This is going to be a negative 3 and a negative 4, which makes a negative 7 squared. If you're not good with your negatives, put it in your calculator exactly the way you see it, and it will work out pretty good. So 6 squared is 36 plus 49, and then all we have to do is add those two values together. And when we do that, let me grab my calculator so I don't make a mistake. I don't want to make a mistake. Pretty sure, I think it's 85, but let me double check. Sorry, my calculator is in the wrong mode. There we go. Okay, 6 plus 39, right? Okay. Yeah, 85. I was right, but you always want to double check. No need to kind of do that. And the square root of 85 actually doesn't break down, so we can leave it as the square root of 85. Find the midpoint. Okay, so we have of C and H, so we're dealing with the two endpoints, so we can just use the formula. Okay, so we get x1 plus x2 divided by 2. And then that will give us the x value, and then y1 plus y2 divided by 2, and that gives us the other value. So we get negative 5 minus 9, or sorry, negative 5 plus 9, sorry, this is plus, and then we're going to get negative 2 plus a negative 4. Okay, so negative 5 plus 9 is going to give us 4 divided by 2, so we get 2 from that piece. And then negative 2 and negative 4 is a negative 6, divided by 2 is a negative 3. And so there's our midpoint. Number 5, given the midpoint M of CH with coordinates and H, find the coordinate of C. So this is the example of a different one. this is where we want to draw that picture where we have m as the midpoint, which is 5, 3, and h is the -9, -1, and then we're trying to find c. We don't know what it is. Okay, so this is where we use that little tactic. So this is where it's nice to have two colors here. So basically, how would I go from -9 to a +5? Well, I'd have to add, so I'm going to plus, and so I'm going to have to add 9 and then 5 more to get all the way up there. So that's going to be 14. So if I did it once, I'm going to have to do it again to get up to this next x value, because remember, midpoint means it's in the middle. So -9 plus 14 was 5. 5 plus 14 would give you 19. Okay? And then we're going to do the same thing. Let's use pink one though. And we're going to go -1 to 3. So how do I go from -1 to a +3? Well, we have to add 1 to get to 0, and then 3 more, so that's going to be +4. And then we need to do it again. And add 4 again. And so that's going to be 3 plus 4, which is going to give us 7. So that's our final answer, 19, 7. Draw a picture to explain the segment addition postulate. You should, but my segment addition postulate is right here. CA plus AM equals CM. So there you go. Angle addition postulate. Well, I'm going to cheat because I already made this. So here's angle addition and segment addition postulate from a flip book. So little angle plus little angle makes big angle. So that's angle addition postulate, and there's that segment addition postulate. Okay, find x and y and all the angle measurements. Okay, so first we got to find x, because these two angles are a linear pair. So we're going to do 2x, sorry, that's 25x plus 8 plus 9x plus 2 equals 180. Again, because they're a linear pair, we can do that. So I know my vocabulary, I know how to find a picture and make sense of it. So we're going to get 34, my numbers are all off, 34x, and then 8 plus 2 is 10, equals 180. Subtract the 10, and we get 34x equals 170. And so 170 divided by 34 is going to give us x equals 5. So it said to find x, and then we need to plug it back in. So 25 times 5 plus 8. So this is going to be 133. All I did was plug in 5 for here, and then this is going to be 9 times 5, which is 45 plus 2 is 47. And look, these two, 133 and 47, should add to 180, and they do. So now we can create an equation this way, but I can't use the x anymore. Instead, I'm going to use the 133, and that should add up to 180. So we get 7y plus, this is going to become 138 equals 180. Subtract the 138, and we're going to get 180 minus 138. We get 42, so I'm going to write down here 7y equals 42. Divide by 7, and we're going to get y equals 6. And then plug that back into there. That's going to be 42 plus 5, which is 47. And boom, 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 we're all good. All right, what's the definition of parallel? What is the definition of skew? Use two different colors. One color with one color to show two parallel lines, another color. Okay, so parallel, pretty easy. Parallel are lines that never meet, but they're on the same plane. So these two pink are on the same plane in the front. And then skew lines would be, for example, this back line right here, and this line coming this way. So we have skew in the yellow, and we have parallel in the pink. Again, the yellow, they don't touch, so they both don't touch, but skew have to be on different planes, okay? And so we did talk about that definition in our flip book. All right, I want you guys to skip number, what is that, 9 right here. There was a typo on it, so we're just going to go ahead and skip that guy. You can kind of solve it if you cheat a little bit, but anyways. RS and T are collinear, means they're on the same line. S is in between RT, so I'm just going to draw a picture real quick. So we have R, we have T, S is in between, doesn't mean it's in the middle. RS is 2W plus 1, ST is W minus 1, and then RT is 18. Use segmentation postulate to solve for W, then determine the length of RS, draw a picture to help. So I already drew the picture, so that means these two small pieces should add up to make the big piece. Okay, and so there we go. And we got 3W, the ones cancel, equals 18, so W is going to equal 6. And then RS, we just plug in 6 for this, so 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Okay? Boom. Number 11, kind of a lot going on in that picture. Let's just zoom it in a little bit. Mark the following in the diagram. C is the midpoint of RT, so if it's in the midpoint, I know these two pieces are congruent. Again, that's a keyword for midpoint. Angle WCV right here is equal to VCT. So this angle and this angle are congruent. All right, so name two congruent, name a ray opposite to CT. So C going towards T, well, we could start at C and just go towards R instead. So CR would be the opposite ray. Name two congruent segments. Well, CT and CR, you told me that with the midpoint, so CT and CR are congruent. SC and CW is going to equal SW, so that's segment addition postulate. C is the blank of RCS. I'm going to go with vertex. Yeah, it's the vertex. The sides of RCW are RC and CW. Name an angle bisector. I'm going to guess CV here because it cuts that angle into two congruent pieces. If those are congruent, it bisect. We have VCT plus TCS is going to equal VCS. And then WCT is the whole thing is 40, then what's WCV? What's going to be half of that because there's two congruent pieces. And then does the same thing, 50, but this time it's asking for TCS. Well, if this is 50 here, we know this adds to 180, so we just do 180 minus 50, and we're going to get 130 degrees. Okay. All right, a lot of little crazy pictures there. Angle 6 is equal to 80 degrees. Then what's angle 5? Well, these are a linear pair. So if that's 80, then 5 would have to be 100. 9 appears to be a what type of angle? Well, it looks like it is definitely less than 90, so we're probably going to go with an acute angle. We see the 90 degrees there, and 9 is not that full thing. GHL is going to equal what? Well, if LHJ is 90, this also has to be 90 because it has to make that 180 degrees. And then we have the measure of 9 is equal to 2x plus 5. Measure of 8 is 3x. What's x? Well, 9 and 8 are complementary. They add up to 90, so we can add those two and set it equal to 90. So we get 5x plus 5 equals 90. Subtract the 5. We get 5x equals 85. And that goes in, I think, 17 times, but you always want to double check. And it does go in 17 times for our answer. Okay? All right. Use the figure to answer the questions. We have two angles ABD. ABD plus DBC is going to be equal to ABC. We put the M in there because we're talking about the measure. If BF, so BF bisects ABE, then angle 1 would be equal to angle 2. So those two angles, angle 1 and angle 2, sorry, hard to see, angle 1 and angle 2 would be equal to each other. 2 plus 3 equals what? Well, 2 and 3 make FBC. Sorry, screen went blank there. Hopefully you guys are still there. All right, so FBC. Another name for angle 3 is, well, we could call it EBC. So this is just practicing our angles. Remember, our middle letter is the vertex. Notice all the middle letters you see in this picture use B because they all meet up here. And 3 is adjacent to what other acute angle? It looks like 3 is probably adjacent to angle 2. All right, we got a few more problems to go, so let's hit it. Ba-boom. Okay, in the figure below, JK and KM are opposite rays. KN bisects JKL, so that means these are congruent. And then we're going to use it to answer the following questions. So JKN and NKL, find X. Well, they're congruent, so we just set them equal to each other. And so we subtract the 6x. We get 2x minus 13 equals 11. And then add the 13. And we get 2x equals 24, x equals 12. And then find JKN. So JKN, we just plug in the 12 here. And so 8 times 12 minus 13 is going to give us 83. So that's equal to 83. Use the problem for the problem. I think we're going to do this in 2 parts. The video is getting a little long, so let's jump in again and get the second part for part 2. All right, ciao.